This Rev3 Games preview is brought to you by Audible.
I'm pleased to be joined by Steve Swink, who's the creator on Scale. This game, it's a technical marvel in many ways. I mean, you're just allowing. I mean, that is not. It seems simple, I think, to someone who just consumes games, but trying to just make things get bigger and smaller and have that become integral to gameplay is you don't see that in many games. I think it's for good reason.
It's a nightmare, yeah. But I found it to be really worth it. We're calling it a first-person reality manipulation game, and so we have this sort of unique resizing mechanic. And a lot of times when you have an experimental mechanic like that, you would say, "Oh, I'll just kind of do the Portal thing, and I'll make a linear series of levels, and I'll show you how clever I am as a game designer." All right, but this game didn't want that, right? This game wanted to have a more open, exploring kind of a feel. So I've taken some inspiration from like Banjo-Kazooie and Mario 64. So you have this hub world, and then you unlock levels by getting these elementary particles. It fits in with the narrative of the game. You play as Penny, who is a physicist, and she's invented this scale device in order to probe the ultimate nature of matter. So she wants to make elementary particles large enough to be seen by the naked eye. So she invents this device to scale things, and things don't go as planned, and her sort of ambition outstrips her moral compass, and she destroys the entire East Coast. And so she starts the game in prison, convicted of 1 million cases of depraved heart murder, and they take away her cat and imprison her in this sort of ironic prison because they use her scale device to shrink down prisons and prisoners and solve the prison overcrowding problem that way. So that's how the game begins.
Man, how is that element of the story being told? Because I sat down to play it, and while I knew there was something funky and there was a hub world and everything, that's a wonderful conceit to be able to drive the game.
Yeah. I don't want to reveal too much of the narrative, but in the far future where this game takes place in like 2055, the way that they re-educate prisoners is through Silurian brain parasite. So she has this thing kind of stuck on the back of her head, and it talks to her, but it talks to her in her own voice, but she sort of has an interior monologue as well. We have the voice actress from Gone Home voicing the game, so it's going to be good.
That's very good talent.
Have you read Lesson is Learned, but the Damage is Irreversible? It's a webcomic by Dale Baran and David Hellman, who did the art for Braid. It's my favorite webcomic. It's the most sublime metaphysical absurdism. I love it. Anyway, he's writing the story for Scale, and I'm really excited about it. It's really awesome.
So what came first? The idea of having this kind of technical conceit, or did you come up with like the kind of game you wanted to do and you realized you had to have this scaling mechanic to be in the game?
It was actually just a game jam game. I put it together in 2 days, and it seemed really promising, right? Because scaling things up and down immediately becomes intuitive to people. You just point the thing at the thing, and it totally makes sense to people. The problem was the technical difficulties and limitations were causing me to think, I don't know if I can turn this into a shipping game. The thing that allowed me to overcome that fear is I'm working with Eddie Boxerman, who made the game Osmos. He's my physics ninja. So I just go to him and I say, Eddie, here's what I want. I want to have 5 houses. There's a house within a house within a house within a house within a house. Yeah. And he's like, okay. And then a day later, he checks it in and it works. And I'm just like, oh my God, you're the best person in the world.
So, I mean, have you had to adjust how the gameplay works because of the challenges that the scaling technology presents?
Actually, not too bad. I mean, okay, so you're seeing a little bit of World 1. We're not revealing what World 3 and 4 are, but there's a unique sort of gameplay twist on the scale mechanics. World 2 is you can scale the entire world up and down. So, for example, you might be standing on a cliffside overlooking a gigantic canyon, and there's an elementary particle on the other side that you would like to collect. You just scale the entire world down, and then go doink, and jump over, and then make the world large again, and you're on the other side of this massive Grand Canyon.
I mean, the opportunities in this game are very exciting. What is your goal in terms of getting this game out, and how will people be able to play it?
In about a month, you will be able to play some kind of demo thing, because I need to do a Kickstarter or pre-orders or find some source of funding, because my savings are shrinking over time as I develop the game. Anyway, yeah, so pretty soon you'll be able to get your hands on some version of it. I'm sort of developing it sandbox style, so I put a bunch of stuff in a level and I play around. So I've got this little Goomba guy that I don't quite have up and running yet, where he reacts depending on his scale relative to you. So when he's the same size as you roughly, he sort of ignores you, and when he's really small, he runs away from you, and you can like step on him. And when he's really big, he tries to eat you, and if you get him big enough, you can like jump into his mouth and like scale his heart up and explode his little heart, or like run around his intestines and go out his little butt and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, so sandbox style. So I think I can actually release the sandbox as a demo and not give away the content, and so that's what I'm thinking about doing.
It's a pretty good strategy. I hope you do scale up your budget. What I've seen, it's very, very interesting. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
So, do you like this preview coverage and you want to support Rev3 Games? Then why not check out Audible? They have over 100,000 audiobooks and spoken word entertainment to be downloaded to your phone or MP3 player and played back anywhere, anytime. You can go to audiblepodcast.com/Rev3Games to get a free audiobook of your choice when you sign up today. We've still got a couple of months before the next-gen consoles are out, so why not pass the time with some audiobooks? Audible has over 100,000 audiobooks and spoken word entertainment in every genre that can be played back anywhere, anytime. You can get a free audiobook when you go to audiblepodcast.com/Rev3Games. And best of all, every sign-up helps support the show.